How much time is left in the game? Does anyone know?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a lot. There's only me and another guy who came out of that.
I do have a question.
The coaches are not here yet. You guys want to wear time Okay, wait, Mero, come here. We're gonna put you three up here. Our big three. Our big three. We have time, right? You'll tell us. Okay, Ben, you tell
Hopefully
us.
they don't say I'm about to coaches first while we're cutting up their piss.
Like, I'm about to
Like shooting shit, making fun of them.
I got you.
Who's the coach? We're all coaches?
You guys
We're just
can all
acting
be
like we're all coaches?
You guys can all be coaches.
Or is it about this game? Is it about this game that just happened?
I'm rolling already. So
Oh.
I want to be the losing coach.
you guys had a live taping today. Was that a win, a loss? How does it feel?
Well, I'll go ahead and take that one.
Okay.
So, I think we did it. I think we put our best foot forward out there. We came to win.
He's not even a babysitter.
I'm like, they're going to say that we sound like him, though.
Throw it up. You know what I'm saying? That's what
Passing it down.
It's just, sit in TP, carry me, all the glory to them, you know what I'm saying? All glory to God,
But no, you brought the energy, man. Like, you brought what we needed to get there.
Appreciate you, with leadership like this, I just got to do my part, I'm just a cog in the machine. These are the two dogs right here. And, I'm just happy to be on the same squad as them, that's it. That's all I got to say.
We love teamwork. You know what they say? This is one of my favorite quotes. There is no I in team.
Mm-hmm.
It is TEAM for a reason. I'm bringing the T. We can disperse the rest of the letters between you guys.
I'll take the M.
Okay.
Okay.
Sid.
Yeah, no, I'll take the E. We just don't.
We need an A, but that's not the point. The point is there's no I.
Yeah. Okay.
You got that?
Where we were going.
No,
Yeah,
there's just no I.
There's a me though.
There is.
You're not allowed to be two letters.
Okay, 100%.
Yeah.
But you know what? We changed the game. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what they do. You know what I mean? They game changers. So
yeah.
If there's a me and team, there is. If there wasn't, there is now.
So right.
Yeah. Wow.
That's
Powerful.
Well,
Powerful.
TP, you found yourself trying to coach Mero into your spots
Mm.
and Sid. What was that like for y'all?
I mean, I think it was amazing just see somebody with such talent, such potential and possibility. Just to invest in them, you're not only happy for them, you feel the feeling of when you do the right thing for somebody. You do something for a good person. You want to see him win. And I want to see this guy win, and he works his ass off.
It's crazy, man. When I started doing media back then, had his post on my wall, every day, just waking up.
Yeah.
That's the blueprint,
Was that when I was film, or is it more when I was
everything?
More masculine? Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank
you.
y'all.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate you. Thank you. Together.
Not a polite. Not a polite. We're getting people.
Oh, wait.
Now the real media here, not us.
Oh, all right. Good luck to y'all.
You guys had to be
What do you want? Yeah, maybe, yeah, closer, yeah. Yeah, that's good. Check 1, check 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, check.
It's holidays,
It's cool. I guess.
Where the real ones are. Are you just kidding?
Thank you.
I know. But I got up
Oh, that's why.
Yesterday. He was off yesterday.
I know, today.
No, he's off.
Okay.
I think you did too, video. I think it was
Honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't really like that. That's a cute set. The guy was trying to.
I'm sorry, you're getting married? You're getting married? Okay, yeah, it's not bad. I feel like.
It's like, they're not really like. We're going to have.
Absolutely.
Don't say that. You better not put something right now. Yeah. As long as you or help you play fine. But, no, like one of those two gets hurt, you're screwed. I'm too actually.
I think you can. It wouldn't be as good, but you can survive.
Like if you adjust the today. And their first half is great.
There's nothing on the schedule that's.
Yeah. I'm very tired. I really have two competitions. I want
Oh, you're down there. Oh, shit, exactly.
Oh, so you guys,
Essentially. Uneasy. It's not.
Teamwork. That's what I do with everything. It's my ideas.
It's a, you know, like it's a posthumous ranking. Yes. It's a ranking. If you get ranked, even you're not ranked, that's what you would assume that counts as a ranking.
You're charged.
I was being on a housing. Here's my little spreadsheet. There they are. Pretty stupid. Well, not insane. Hey, look, I have this for now. I'm a little on them.
No, but you both. You feel like you look close to this.
What?
That's what they go with their plans.
Okay.
That was my favorite part of that poll.
That's crazy.
Correct. Yes. That's what I thought. Yes. For that reason. We have no bias. There's no like whatever.
But I don't care.
You be someone.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Right now we got a correction.
That means you're. About what? Oh.
Really?
Where'd you get it?
He's on Blue Sky.
Or an issue. I think you should do that.
I never met him.
For some people, it's like.
Wait.
How do I find that? Check your organ bias.
I don't know, right? I don't know.
I'm just trying to figure out.
Wait,
That to me, that's what you have.
I didn't get my last week, and then I just. I'm never gonna go back. I'm sorry, guys.
Wow. I have a game. I have a game as well. And
It doesn't matter. It's pretty safe.
I didn't question your role.
What? I feel like it can't. I've never been around. You're something crazy. Here's my concern. Now, that's something I'm totally, I mean, that's something crazy. If I'm really agree, then people are gonna be like, that has a bunch of like,
He's had a burner.
No, that's cool. I actually didn't realize that's really cool. I just, my thought process is like, I look at where I go to teams last week. I'm looking at what over the last 7 days. But now I'm like, I'm feeling really bad. Because I know I and I could be consistent or like that 2 years. I was just Carl. I'm right. That was
I'm still hanging on to that. I did know, there might, I oh, that's so funny. But like he's consistent, so I'm fine with that. Like if you're consistent about it,
Oh, yes. No, it's just, the error is great. My favorite is when they shut down. Yeah.
One more.
We'll start with questions. Student athletes first, then we'll go to Dan. Who's ready? You have one. Take a look.
UConn had 17 steals today. What was it that was causing you guys a challenge today with their defense?
Obviously, they're a great high intensity, high pressure team. So credit to them for that. I think there was a lot we talked about that was controllable for us, just being strong with the ball and really leaning into that moment. And we didn't do it as well as we could have. So it's definitely something we're going to keep working on going forward.
Kind of Howard Mendoff and I'm basketball. Playing against Sarah Williams, I'm just curious if you could contrast it to last year. You're seeing anything different, just kind of what that matchup was like.
Yeah, Sarah's always been really good. She played great today. Yeah.
Thank you.
Jackie Powell, the line basketball for either of the players. I'm just curious what you made of your team's defense in the first half, especially when, it was a really tight one in that first half.
I think that was definitely an emphasis for us coming into this game. We know how talented they are on the offensive side, so any pressure we can put on them, specifically the shooters, we knew that was going to be a big key for us this game. So we tried to come out and really be there on the defensive end.
Yeah, obviously AZ foot was kind of difficult to guard on both ends of the, like for either one of you guys when she was knocking down threes. I mean, what does this tell you about the type of improvement the defense needs to work on for future games?
Okay. AZ's a tremendous basketball player. She's really hard to guard for anybody. But I think just keep working on guarding players like that, and yeah.
Doug Farmer, Dave Fee, for either one of you, just how much does a game like this sort of help you get ready for the Big Ten, knowing exposing things you need to work on in the next week or so?
Immensely. I mean, this is pressure and just big moments we're going to see all season. The Big Ten is the best conference, and we're going to continue to see teams like that. High pressure, high intensity, great shooting. So just learning from this game and taking that into the Big Ten season is going to be really helpful for us.
You guys are 1-2 against ranked opponents. What does it take to close that gap?
I think staying focused and dialed in. I think we've got a really young team. So these games are really great for learning. And as the season progresses, I think we'll get better and better. And really focusing on that third quarter will be important for us.
All right, we'll dismiss these guys and we'll go to Jan.
I'm gonna hop off that way. Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Again, happy holidays.
You too. Good to see you, Howard.
Good to see you. Defensively, I know obviously there's some challenges out of today's game. Just this year, you came in top 75 in opposing points per possession. You know, it seems like much more of this identity. Can you kind of take me through that evolution and what level you need to see this defense be at for you guys to reach the goals you have?
Yeah, I think, I mean, UConn is just, they're the standard, right? Kylie Furbach is our key defender, and she's the key. It runs all through her and defensively. And she was not able to play her normal minutes. She only played about 9. And that was an unsteady feeling because she's kind of the heart and soul of our defense. And so not having her, that kind of threw us a bit. And then we were really forced to go a lot of different lineups. Kylie's kind of an energizer bunny. She's very fit. She hardly comes out. So that threw us defensively. But I would have, liked to have seen what would have happened had we not had that mishap. If you're going to stay in games with teams that are as great as UConn, you need everybody every minute. And we didn't have her. And then we didn't play very particularly well in our inside game. But defensively, I've loved our defense all year. I think it's been pretty good. I think it had some really sound moments today. I stuck in the zone longer. I stayed with it longer because we didn't have Kylie. And I thought maybe they'll miss a few, but I definitely should have pulled out of that zone a little quicker and just kept them off cadence.
You led me nicely to the second player. How is she and what is her kind of time?
Yeah, I think she just didn't have her bounce. I mean, she was there. I think it's there's high ankle sprains where you need some crutches, but then there's high where it just is hard to step on it. And when she went in a couple of those times, she's I trust our kids. She said, "Coach, I just don't have the push." So that just kind of told me she'd try it, came out. So then we just tried, give our younger kids some minutes. But hopefully, we have it now. We don't start the Big Ten till the 28th. Yeah. Yep.
Hey, Coach. Same question I asked the kids. Just, a game like this, how you wanted to go, but
yeah,
help you expose things you need to work on, and just talk about this tournament. You've played it 2 years now. How it showcases women's basketball on the national stage. Yeah.
Well, I'm just appreciative to Dave Levy, everybody associated. It's just such an honor to be in the tournament. And I think it's really awesome that they created this moment. If you study why they created it, there's always been a lot of tournaments for men that kind of set up some power teams, Michigan State and Duke and so forth. So he kind of saw a need and, he tapped into Geno, and that's wise, right? Because you're going to sell tickets, you're going to guaranteed a great product. And we were really honored to be asked the last couple of years. And, I tell you what, out of the 8 quarters, I'm really only disappointed with 1. I know we're sitting here and we're talking a lot about, what got away from it, the third quarter. So that's my message to my team. They are great. Watch what they did at USC. You watch what they did with Michigan. Michigan had a kid turn into that Swords is pretty good, and she hit some Caitlin Clark type shots, and they found a way. So when you're going to beat Connecticut, if you go back on who they've played and how they've done it, this is pretty much their blueprint. And so I'm going to own, I kept us in the zone too long. I got to get our posts a little tougher and more consistent. But I mean, other than that third quarter, we played Tennessee here last year. I was brand new then too, had a brand new point guard just like we did. I want to talk about our little Chastity Wright in a second here too. But we went to the last possession of that game and we turned it over a little bit too much. So I got to look at the film, but that's who Connecticut is. And I felt, good. Usually a coach doesn't feel good going down 11 at half. But I was like, you know what? But our third quarter, that was the issue. But that's who they are too. I mean, I can be like, oh gosh, we didn't have Kylie. Oh, doggone it. We should have stayed in the zone. They're great. And so I just respect the heck out of them. But I'm taking the stage. I got a lot of young kids have to, in some ways, some really good minutes. Journey Houston, last year this time she was probably beating someone by 60 in her small town, small high school. So now all of a sudden you're playing on this court against Sarah Strong, against AZ Fudd, the kids that, they want to come and they want to play against until you're here and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm here. So those are the cool moments, win or lose when you coach, because now we can take them and we can go into our conference and we can say, okay, we didn't do that. How did the heck we turn it over that much? Give credit to them for some of them, be mad at us for a lot of them. That's how you kind of move forward, I think.
All right, we'll go right there. Thank you. Tim, are we together?
Yeah.
Obviously,
you guys together are everywhere, man. At that reception, I saw a lot of the togethers.
That's what we do.
Yeah, I love it. I love
it's
it.
called ubiquity.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
So obviously, program on the rise. What fell short today?
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the positives that you saw out there on the floor that's going forward that encourages you in the future?
Yeah, I wouldn't say we're on the rise. I think, arrived. No, I wouldn't say we arrived. I'm sorry, I misheard it. But I think, we were honored to be part of the term. Did you say rise or arrived? Oh, okay. I like the rise. Okay. I mean, I just think that, Chit Chat Wright came from Georgia Tech. And she ended up being a starter a little bit at the end of the year. So I thought she performed pretty well in this environment. What I need to do a better job of is getting her to be a little more consistently noticeable. I think we have, to me, it's like, oh yeah, she's got 3 or 4 minutes and then it goes a little quiet. And so I've got to do a better job getting her a little bit more consistent of a threat, empowering her. But I like what I saw from her. I think her stat line was pretty doggone good. 6 for 12, 3 turnovers. They all had too many. But I thought for the most part that was good. I really like my Journey Houston. I think she's got a good motor, playing her a little bit out of position, but I thought for the most part she leaned into the moment. And I just think our younger kids, I thought they did a pretty doggone good job of leaning into the moment. So you just got to take most of the game that's positive and learn from the tough part.
Yeah, obviously there was a lot of competition during the non-conference play, including UConn. Going forward, when you thinking about the competition in the Big Ten this season coming up, I mean, what is like the overall mindset for this team to be prepared for it, especially considering the strong non-conference record outside the end.
Yeah. I think would you say we were 1 and 2 against ranked teams? I think we've, they've both been top 10 teams. One was on an opposing court and one, was on a little closer to their home floor than us, right? So I think that if we can shoot the ball more consistently in the inside, when you're gonna be in the game with a team like this, your gun's got to be pretty consistent. And, we're just not as consistent on the inside. I think if we can get a little bit more consistent on the inside and, the pressure of this defense, what that'll do to you is I think they physically created probably about 16 to 18 of them, which is too many. But the mental state is what they created of the others. What I tried to get our team to do was, play the 5 people on the floor and not the ranking and not the tradition. But when you get on there and you know you're playing UConn and all of a sudden it's like that pressure, it can rattle you. So I think if, I can draw on some really good parts of the film of the kids, and I think that can prepare us well for the big. Yeah.
I'm just curious in observing UConn in this new college season, year over year, what's different about their defensive end?
Well, first off, the Geno and Chris and his staff, they make the hard look really easy. I mean, everybody's like, oh, UConn's good. Man, they're so good. And but they recruit and get the best year after year. And then they are the best year after year, right? So there's an expectation there that I think, that's certainly who I'm trying to emulate. But I think what he did is he evolves with the kids that he's recruiting. A lot of people run the Princeton offense called Shin. A lot of people, no one runs it like UConn. I mean, a lot of people. Other teams we have struggled with, but he just has elite athletes, and I think those expectations, right? But then he added a full court pressure. This year, he didn't press from the get-go right away to us every time, but he has a run and jump. He's got full court pressure. They trap the inbound. Sometimes they let you have it in. Sometimes they don't let you have it in, and it just wreaks havoc. But a lot of teams, when you full court press, they kind of drop their shoulders. When you advance it and get it over right at 9 seconds, then they kind of drop their shoulders to pitch. They do not. It's like they get you across half court, and then they just get a little bit more intense. That's what impresses me. I'd have to look back on a couple of years ago when we played him in the Final Four. I could be wrong. I got a lot of things in my mind, but I don't remember that feeling as much of what they're showing now. And I think they're turning people over and they're causing people havoc.
To follow up on that, I guess how much of it is specific personnel, like for instance, Blanca Quinones, and just her impact defensively as well?
Yeah, that's I think my favorite part of what Connecticut does is what I think our program has always tried to do, is you really have a good lineup. Everybody loves each other and they're together. But he has people who could start that come off the bench. Like Isabel, I recruited the heck out of her. That kid is amazing. And she's coming off the bench and, she had a beautiful 3 for what she played 3 or 4 minutes, but she loves it, right? And this gal you're talking about, defensive craziness. So, usually when you sub, it's like, oh, yay, they subbed. With UConn, it's like, oh, yay, they subbed. That's the difference. And so, these games show all of us who played them, how far you got to go with your depth. But I just, you got to use it as a motivator, and you just got to keep trying to, get some really good kids and run your stuff. And you just got to be able to score against UConn. You have to be able to score with them because you will not stop them. So you got to make the ones you should make. Right?
Yes. Hey, Coach. Good to see you again.
Yeah, you too.
With CBS Sports.
Yeah.
You talked about, some of the decision making and just your reaction to perhaps things that you and I would assume the coaching staff would have done a little differently. What is that process like for y'all after games? How much do you spend time as a coaching staff really focusing on the decision making that y'all do as a group to then impact how you want to execute in practices with the players?
Well, I don't know how everybody else does it, but we'll watch it right away on the plane. So just get on and I'll just I'll watch it the first time for us, right? Kind of what did that look like, right? So we watch it, and I have different groups watch it on the plane, and then that's how you begin the dissection, right? And this one you can spend a little bit more time on because we don't have a game. But if you have to turn it over, that's when it gets tricky. If you play like UConn on Thursday and you got another game on Sunday, that's always the balance. But that's pretty much, I think, everybody's protocol. And then UConn will be a little bit different for everybody's prep, though. I'm going to see some pressure defense, certainly in the Big Ten. Now, some people really crank it up like them, but there's some teams that won't play at all, and they play a little bit more similarly to us. So you have to kind of stay a little steady. Like I can't tomorrow with practice, we're going to spend an hour on breaking a press or that quarter court defense. I mean, it's like, okay, that was bad. I gotta work on that a little bit more consistently over time. Already I'm thinking I gotta get our great, we call her a male practice player. I gotta rev him up a little more. But I think it's more of a process, not a one-day deal. And you got to be careful with UConn. You have to be really careful that all is lost, because that's one heck of a team.
So just to clarify that, so you're saying, not kind of lean too heavily into maybe what you saw that you want to improve. You're looking at still improve UConn. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm just saying, yeah, I mean, you can see we'll see all of the mistakes, but you can't dwell on the fact that you were just really terrible in the quarter court at a post entry, let's say, because we've been pretty good at that. We faced some teams that have given us some pressure. They're just really good at every position. So you just got to strike the balance. And, I won't know. Maybe I'll watch the film and think, my goodness, we really were worse than I thought. I doubt that. I think we were really bad at different times, but I can't really answer that without really watching the film to know how much time I'll spend on it.
All right,
Yeah.
thanks, Jen.
All right. Thank you for covering our sport. Appreciate it. Happy holidays to everybody.
I'll find out.
Yeah, yeah. Her husband. And he actually invited my brother.
See right here?
No.
Oh, you're talking about, what the? What are you doing? Oh, you're starting. Oh, Coach coming up here?
Yes, he is.
Okay, Coach, you usually know.
He's not climbing through me.
Oh,
Unless you don't want to sit next to me.
girl, don't put words in my mouth.
Do you want to put me under the bus? Or
Don't put.
you want to sit next to me?
No, she. Hey, yo.
Thank you.
We have Geno, Auriemma, AZ Fudd, and KK Arnold. Unfortunately, we had some players leaving for flights, which is why they're not present. So we will move to questions. We'll start with Dom, and then we'll go around them.
Is the number that really jumps off the sheet, obviously, is 17 steals today. So if you could maybe explain a little bit about how you guys did that, what the plan was, and how it worked.
Yeah, I think our goal.
That's a hard question for you.
Well, anyways, our goal every game is to disrupt what the other team is doing and what they want to accomplish on offense. And our identity this year, our goal has been to have a defensive identity and be in the passing lane, make things hard for the other team. So I feel like every game we're just trying to build on that and continue to take those chances, take those risks in the passing lanes, get our hands with as many balls as we can, and trust each other and know that if like KK was pressing full court, she got beat, someone was there to pick it up and she was rotating. So just having that sense of knowing where everyone is and where we can pick up and help each other.
You kind of had a slow start there today. What did some of them have? I would shake it off and go off for 21 points in the second.
Yeah, it was actually my teammates that were in my ear the whole time saying like, keep shooting, next one's going in, you got this. So just having that constant reassurance from them, I think it's such a game changer.
Kind of going off the AZ, Sarah
Sarah had the 20-point first half, you had the 21-point second half. Did they show you guys something different between halves that kind of opened up different opportunities, or just sort of what do you attribute that to?
Yeah, well, I think that's an example of why our team is so special, is that at any moment anyone can go off and make shots, and it could be Sarah, it could be me, it can be KK, Ash, Blanca, Sarah, Williams, it can be absolutely anyone. And I think we do a great job of playing unselfish basketball and just reading what the defense is, how they're playing us.
Yeah, AZ, you and Sarah Strong really carried the load on the offensive end. It was knocking out threes and passed it to the open shooter. What are your overall thoughts about the way the team was able to flow on the way towards this victory?
Like I said, just being unselfish, and a lot of those shots come from those stops on defense from KK, and KK starting the offense and getting everyone going. So it's not just Sarah and I, it's Ash playing hard, doing those little things, Sarah crashing the boards, playing great defense as well. So it's really a full 5-person game out there.
KK, this is for you. I'm just curious how you think your game has developed over the time you've been at UConn, and how your game is especially fit for the way that the team is playing this season.
I feel like the biggest thing that's changed in my game is just my pace. I just remember like freshman year, even some of last year, just going 100 miles per hour and not really understanding when to slow down and when, like, what's needed for our team. So I feel like this year I'm understanding more like where to find AZ in her spots, what offense to call. Just understanding those bits that will help my team out, especially in games when moving fast paced, and just trying to understand what our team needs at the moment. And I feel like for that point, I just feel like that's like the biggest thing. Understanding that was like my biggest thing, is just pace, honestly. So.
It's unusual to see someone, a freshman, come out. Like one long sentence.
Who's it for?
Yeah.
It's unusual to see a freshman coming out of abroad and then making an instant impact. Can you talk a little bit about Blanca Quinones?
Good.
Blanca, I mean, I feel like the way that she plays, you can tell that she's been playing pro basketball overseas. She's just, the moves that she makes, the confidence she has, her scoring ability, she can score on anyone anytime she wants. But I feel like what I'm most proud of is her defense. I feel like we talked about that last night, how to start the season, her defense was a little questionable. Even this first half was a little questionable. But the way that she can really be a lockdown defender when she wants to be, it makes it so much fun when she's picking up full court, getting steals. But she's so talented offensively, defensively. Like, having her on the court, you can't guard her. So it makes it so much fun to, like, it's making it hard for the defense.
What did you like most of playing in this event, particularly playing at Barclays?
Just the environment, like having the opportunity just to play in front of everybody wherever they're coming from. But I feel like that's the biggest thing, just taking it all in. Who came out, like who's there at the game, just knowing that they came out just to watch a great game between us and Iowa. And, yeah.
KK, can you, I wanted you to talk about the defense and the steals also. Is that something that you enjoy? Do you enjoy playing that way? Does that play to your strengths as a defensive player?
Yeah, it definitely does. And I feel like it gets me going and it gets my team going, whether that's like diving on a loose ball, getting hyped up. I feel like that creates for me, but just also creates for my teammates. Getting out of transition is one thing it's one of our key things that we want to get out and do, first of all, for the game.
Erica Ayala with CBS Sports. AZ, at this tournament last year, got a little banged up. How have you been able to overcome that? Obviously, you made the championship run with UConn last year, but was that in your head at all? I mean, did you think about that coming into this game?
I actually did think about it yesterday in practice. We were running a play, and it was like the same action that happened last year. So it crossed my mind, but it wasn't a lingering thought, just in and out. But yeah, I think just like I mentioned earlier, having the confidence of my teammates and the coaches, no matter what, I feel like that is just when I can't find that confidence in myself and I start to question things, having them in my ear, give me that motivation helps so much.
KK, it looks like the scouting report is to let you shoot the three because UConn has so much offensive firepower. You hit 2 threes. I mean, what's your confidence like when you have those opportunities to shoot those threes?
Yeah, just really not thinking about it, just stepping into my shot and knocking it down, having confidence. And like Azzy's been saying, in terms of like having teammates that just believe in her, having them tell me like just knock it down, shoot it, keep shooting if I missed the first one or second one. But I feel like just to also the work that I put in over the summer, just knowing that I can knock it down with confidence.
All right, thank you. You guys can come down a little bit. We'll kind of just go down the row.
Sorry.
No worries.
Congratulations, Geno.
Excuse me. Wanted to talk to you about Sarah Williams and just what you've seen from her, not only since the start of the season, but when we saw you Mohegan a few weeks ago, you wanted to see more from her, defensive end, rebounding, and just, kind of take me through what you're seeing both since the start of the year and just even in the last few weeks from her.
I think there's been, an improvement in her, I think just in her approach to what she wants to get accomplished. I think coming in to a situation like ours, I may have said this last time, can be a little bit daunting, where do I fit in? What's my role going to be? And so I think not thinking and playing more and trusting your instincts and trusting that you have the ability to impact the game, and so we talked a lot about impacting the game, whichever way whatever that means. And I thought tonight was one of her, better performances because she, obviously Iowa relies heavily on their inside game, and I thought both getting us a couple buckets and some of the rebounds and block shots, those are things that when we decided that we wanted to add Sarah, we thought we really need more of a defensive presence. We need more of an offensive threat, and I think that's it takes time, and I think this last 3 weeks or so, she's made a lot of progress.
Coach, when it comes to Blanca, it seems like she's always playing angry. How do you teach that aggression in practice?
Blanca? Well, I'm always angry with her, so maybe that's why. I think AZ may have said that. She maybe has played so much basketball that she takes it very seriously. You don't find that very often. It's almost like junior hockey. These kids leave home and they go live someplace else with another family, and then they come out and they go in the NHL, and they're tough dudes, man, because they know how to take care of themselves. So, she leaves, Ecuador as a teenager, goes to Italy and is playing with kids 30 years old and taking care of herself for the most part. I think you grow up fast and you have a little bit of a sense of urgency and purpose. She's not playing just for the fun of it, even though she has fun playing. I think she has a real purpose is the best word I can use. She didn't come here just because, moving from Campobasso, Italy to Stores was a step up. Although in some ways it is. I've been to Campobasso, so I know it's a beautiful town. It really is.
Geno, Jan spoke about how she really has noticed a change in her team's defensive identity over the years. I guess just how would you describe this year's team's defensive identity?
Well, we've had a lot of identities over the years. A lot of people probably more familiar, more talking about offensively. We try to take some risks on offense. Try to get concepts out there that maybe other people are doing, maybe they're not, and try to do them our way and try to use the offensive talent that we have. But, you know, going back to 1995, you know, like that 95 team, all of Tina's teams and Maya's teams and all of Stewie's teams and Dee and Sue's teams, you couldn't score on those guys. And Bruno would always say that. Bruno would always go to Connecticut's dirty secret. Everybody thinks it's their offense because you can't get a shot against them. Now, fast forward to the last 3 or 4 years, you can get any shot you wanted against us a few years ago. We didn't have the ability to play at a level of intensity that we want to play because we had to save everybody for 38, 39 minutes. So we really couldn't, and we didn't have the number of people to just keep running them in there. So we were able to go back to who we used to be, and we haven't had a chance to be that, you know, probably since Fisa, Lou, Kia Nurse, you know, Stewie and Mariah Jefferson and Tuck. We had a lot of guys on that team, you know, and we had to play the way the hand was dealt. And so we played a little bit differently. And now we're back to, you know, we want to play the way I like playing. This is the way I like to play. And, you know, when you play like this, I think players get the message real early. You either play like this or you're not going to get as many minutes as somebody else. So it really helps us a lot of ways.
Martin Chambers, 4.0 Sports Media, and Coach, congratulations. Can you talk about the development and maturity of Sarah Strong in year 2?
Yeah, I mean, you saw it tonight, or today, I should say. There's a, it's like there's a halo over her. I don't mean in a religious way, but I mean there's an aura that she has where it never appears that she's in a rush to do anything, to go from one place to another, to hurry up and make a play. And there's never a shot where she goes, should I shoot this or not? Everything she does just seems to flow from a place where the game is like in her soul, you know? So if there's a loose ball that comes and it's on the floor and it's bouncing around and she slaps it once, it comes back to her hand. And other people, you know, they slap it, it goes over there, it goes up, and then she controls it and then makes a play. You know, she just has a knack, and she, a thing that people don't know, probably don't see it. She's a quiet kid in a lot of ways on the court, but she asks a lot of questions. And a lot of kids are either not confident enough, not mature enough, but Sarah asks a lot of questions because she wants to know everything about what we're going to do that night. So she's always prepared. Nothing takes her by surprise. And sometimes she'll turn around and go, hey, I'm going to do that, right? You're like, yep, that's exactly what you're going to do. So, you know, she's growing in so many ways, and she helps her teammates grow as well.
No Caroline tonight. Just how serious is her shoulder injury? Do you expect her to be back after the break?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't even see it because Blanca ran into somebody as well, so I saw that one, but I didn't see Carol's. But according to Geno, you know, she couldn't go today, but after 4 days, I guess we'll find out after that.
Coach, I wanted to ask you, are there any through lines between the undefeated seasons that UConn has had that you can recall in this moment? Like, what was similar, if anything, between those teams?
After 11 games? Is that how many we played? 12, sorry. After 12 games?
No, just thinking of those seasons.
Oh, thinking about
Yes,
undefeated
in their
teams?
entirety.
We all of those teams had really, 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 really good players, and lots of them. Otherwise, it'd be hard to accomplish that.
These lots, can that be quantified? Is there like?
And I would say we had a lot of the right good players. So having good players is great, but if they're the wrong ones and they can't play together and they're not committed to a certain thing, it doesn't matter. So all those teams, if I look back, every single one of them was a team made up of incredibly competitive and bright players. And there was more than 2 or 3, So, there's a reason why there's only been, I think, 3 maybe total undefeated teams, I think, in Division I. I think it was like Texas a long time ago, and South Carolina just had one recently. Tennessee, I think, had one. There hasn't been many, right? We have 6, but, yeah, really, really, really good players. And the other thing they had was they had stay in college for 4 years. Because if they could all leave in one and dones, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Geno.
Yeah.
This is your second time in the last week beating a top 25 team by 20 points. How do you think this group has handled just playing every possession as opposed to playing what the score is?
Well, I'm not sure that AZ Fudd was worried about what the score is when she's 2 for 10 from the 3-point line, or maybe 1 for 10. I forget what it was. I think she just wants to go out there and play really well. And whatever the score was, the score was, And I think that's the approach that all of our players take. Because I've never been more pissed at my teams than when they play and it's the game's pretty much already over and they go out and treat it like the game's over and being disrespectful. So we go out and we play and, we're not trying to embarrass anybody, but I've got guys that want to play basketball and they play. And so I don't think the score is the driving force behind the way we're playing, the way we like to play. I mean, fourth quarter, who did we play recently? Marquette. Yeah. Some of those guys that were out there in the fourth quarter, they should take their basketball license away from them. Like your driving license, like you should get a license to play basketball. And if you play like that, you should get your license suspended. So just because, we're winning by a lot, that doesn't give you the right to play like that. God forbid.
Coach, second year at the Women's Champions Classic, dominated again. What do you think these types of games, tournaments, exhibitions do for women's college basketball?
I like the fact that it's this time of the year. I like that you can bring in name programs that have had a lot of success, bring them to New York. They can't just get on the phone and say, hey, I want to play in New York City around Christmas time. There's no takers. So you have to have an event to bring them here and let them experience what, goodness, I mean, my teams have experienced for a long, long time, because it's pretty special. It's pretty cool to come and play in New York. It's always great to play in a pro arena, and the people at Barclays are just unbelievable. I mean, they love They love having us here, and they do a fantastic job. And it puts a little bit of a spotlight on women's basketball at a time when it's not quite, in some ways, basketball season yet. Basketball, it's still, big college football playoffs today, NFL games today. So there's a lot going on, and just carve out a little spotlight for women's basketball and give people something to look forward to in the tournament. Like, for instance, we played Louisville first game of the season in Annapolis and they're not the same team they were then. So it was really cool to watch them play, just to see where teams are at the beginning, the middle, late, and then at the end. And people here appreciate basketball,
As a tri-state guy,
Yeah.
playing under the New York City Lights.
People here appreciate basketball, and so it's fun to have events like this in New York, in a place like this, that aren't connected to, hey, let's have the first game we ever played at the Garden years ago had to be a doubleheader with the men, because nobody will come if you don't have a doubleheader with the men. And I think we're past that. We're at a point where we can have an event here to showcase women's basketball.
Yeah. So speaking of that, on top of the rest of the conference schedule for the Big East, on March 1st, you guys are going to be heading to the Garden.
Yeah.
To play against St. John's. What are your overall thoughts? And I remember you said a year ago you wish you had more UConn women's games at the Garden.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about it now that it's finally happening late in the season during conference play?
In March, March 1st. I'm great that St. John's was able to pull that off and play at the Garden. Not crazy about Sunday night at 7:00, but I think, having said that, I think there'll be a lot of fans that maybe haven't gotten to a game, and this will be their chance to get to a game. Maybe St. John's is having a great year so far, so I think anytime we can play here and expose the other team to an event, I think that benefits us. It benefits St. John's and benefits the Big East. I think it helps everyone, if we can, create an event like that.
Geno, I'm just curious if you could take us through what you think KK's developmental arc has been since she's come to UConn, and how, in particular, this year she allows you all to play the way you want to play.
KK talked about how fast, she only had one speed. Her sentences are longer than the Christmas season. You see, opens her mouth and it's just words come flying out. That's what I asked Daisy one time. I said, was there a comma in that sentence? Was there something in that sentence? Because she just goes on a stream. And that's a personality type. That's not something that she thinks about doing, or hey, you should stop doing that. This is who she is. She's wired, and she's like this all the time. And it's great because it allows her to be just who you are. It's not like, well, I have to play like this, but that's not really who I am. She gets to play the way her makeup is. Now, when she has the ball in her hands, that has to be tempered with, okay, there's got to be a sense of organization here, as well as, when do we turn the blinkers on and make a right? When do we slow down and make a left? It can't just all be straight ahead. And that's the development, I think, that every guard that I've ever had that was really good, when they let the game slow down for them and be able to decide what to do instead of running head first into a situation and then looking around and going, how did I get here and why am I here? And now what am I going to do when I'm here? Which happens a lot to young players, So I think her growth has been being able to have that, fast twitch personality and be able to manage it. That's the key always.
Maggie, going back to the Women's Champions Classic, just where do you see the future of this event going? Do you want to remain in Barclays? Do you want to maybe to go with MSG? Do you see more teams being involved?
No, I don't think there'll be more teams involved. I think this is it. A 2-game event, one day, and I think there'd be no reason to leave here as long as they want us here. As long as they want us here, then we should stay here. That's my feeling. They took us in when we wanted to have it on a particular weekend, and they've done nothing. People at Barclays have done nothing but make us want to come back here even more. That's how I feel.
Do you see different teams being involved next year?
Oh yeah, most teams was. I think the very first was a 2-year deal, right? So we had the same teams, just flip flop. So next year we'll have 3 different teams than the other 3 besides us. Who they are, I don't know. Neil knows, but he's going to keep it a secret. But we don't have all 3 of them picked out yet. So we'll probably make an announcement when we finally do. But yeah, it'll be 3 different teams, and hopefully we can keep showcasing teams, and it may not be a 2-year deal next year. I don't know. So it's always, it's evolving. It's something that we can tinker with to make it the best that it can be.
That second half for AZ, did you say anything to her after?
Yeah. Are you going to make any tonight?
What did you like about the way that she responded to that first half?
Well, I mean, the AZ can do 2 things. AZ can give you a big lead that might be insurmountable, or AZ can put a game away and it's insurmountable. So today she didn't give us the big lead because she got nothing but open shots and missed them, which is human. What she shoot tonight? 11 for 24. Not quite. Is that what she shot? 11 for 24. Not quite 50%, but All-American leg, right? And 5 for 13 from the 3-point line. So it wasn't like a typical AZ FUD day, right? And that's, that's okay. But when it was time to okay, we're going to take this 12-point game and make it a 25-point game, then it was like, boom. So you just got to wait for the explosion to come because it's coming. It's either coming at the beginning, coming at the middle, or it's coming at the end. It doesn't really matter. And there's nothing you can say. Like I say the same thing to her all the time if she misses a couple. Are you going to make any or not? I just want to be prepared. But I never tell her don't shoot or stop shooting. She made a horrendous pass one time. She caught the ball in the lane, and I thought she was going to get a foul and get an N1, and she throws it. I don't know who she threw it to. Sarah Williams, maybe? Yep. Sarah Williams takes a shot. She's made 2 of those this year. So we go from a guy who's averaging 20 and 100% from the free throw line, throwing it to a guy who's made 2 of those this year. Why? Because, it's women's basketball. They just want to be nice. I mean, I could score, but I feel bad for you. Here, take it. It drives me crazy.
Coach, 2 lots. 4 decades at UConn, 12 national championships. All the opposing teams come in and talk about the UConn standard. Can you define what that means to you?
I don't know. No, I think the best thing I can say is that other people say it best, and that's the way it should be. People that we compete against, people that emulate us for whatever reason, people that are inspired by us and our program and what we've done and how we've done it. They get to define it, what that standard is. I mean, I know what it is for us and our team. And we've talked about it a lot about, the pressure to win is incredible at UConn. The pressure to play a certain way is incredible at UConn. But you don't you don't have that many players in the pros, and you don't have that many Olympians unless they love playing under that kind of pressure. So the standard is the standard, and we play to it as many nights as we can. And whatever the other team thinks, you know, we're kind of flattered when they say that. So I'm happy that people recognize it. But like somebody told me once, you know, a long time ago, when you're really, really good at something, just shut up. Other people say it for you. You know, like those people are going to, you know, I work really hard in my life. Good. Happy for you. You know, when you're good, really good, other people can't wait to tell you or tell other people that you're really good. And that means more than anything else. All right, time for Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays.
Howard. It's things attached to it.
You know, he's a hell of a catcher.